Hi friends, welcome back to another iPad book journal video. I'm very excited about what we're going to be getting into today. It's Halloween, by the way, and I thought this would be a fitting time to do a book journal spread for my most recent read, which is Phantasma. So this is a dark fantasy romance. I really enjoyed it. So we're just going to be doing a book journal spread here in my iPad. This is GoodNotes app. All of the gothic vibes here today. So I'm just gonna kind of walk you through how I do my book journal spreads. So let's get into it. Nothing too exciting here. I kind of do a combination of handwriting it and using text. I read this on my Kindle. This was available on Kindle Unlimited, which I absolutely love, and very excited to read the sequel. Something that I always do when I'm working on a book journal spread is have Goodreads open, specifically in the web browser, not the app, because you can't really copy and paste things as easily that way. So this synopsis says Caraval meets Throne of the Fallen. Now I have not read Throne of the Fallen, but I can say that this definitely takes some inspiration from Caraval, but like a haunted house Caraval. I personally love the Caraval series. I know that a lot of people didn't like it as much as Once Upon a Broken Heart, and I'll agree with that. But I think this book had definite similarities to both of those, especially the male love interest in this was giving very Jax vibes. So I'm gonna just try and pull a little synopsis from here. Let's see, probably just kind of grab this, where a necromancer needs help from a dangerous phantom to win a deadly competition, only to find their partnership puts her at risk of breaking the game's most vital rule: don't fall in love. Grab the text tool. I have my specific kind of fonts that I know I like to use. I'm gonna actually just pull up my Goodreads here in a split screen so that I can look. Wow, this has a lot of ratings. 37,000 plus ratings. Sitting at a 4.18. 512 pages. I will tell you right off the bat, this did not read like 512 pages. My Goodreads also will tell me the dates that I read this because I can never remember. Unlike another book that I read this month, The Once and Future Witches, which was like 500 something pages, that slogged on so freaking long. This went by like it was nothing. I read this so fast. This was published, wow, just last month. I did not know that. September 2024. This had a 4.18 like we saw on Goodreads. I am also in that boat. So I'm just gonna write my review and then we'll get into the fun part and pick out some pictures and kind of think about like the themes that we want to go with for this. This was a very gothic, like I said, set in New Orleans. A lot of manors, haunted houses, dark hallways, cobwebs, candles. So I'm excited to see how this one turns out. I was just really obsessed with Blackwell, the main male love interest in this. I tend to have a type. I'm a Rhysand stan. I love Jax from Once Upon a Broken Heart. I like the morally gray, but will protect her at all costs. Really love that trope of a male character. And so Blackwell in this one did it for me as well. Kind of overarching rule, like the synopsis says, is you go into this competition basically. Again, very similar to the Caraval trials, like a Hunger Games situation or a Powerless situation. In this haunted place where this all takes place, there are devils, phantoms, necromancers, all that kind of stuff. And he is a phantom, I believe, which is like on the highest like end of the scale of like the most magic. Blackwell was just Jax from Once Upon a Broken Heart in another universe, and I love that. Really loved the gothic setting as well. I thought it really set the scene. I really loved the pacing of this as well. I was just flying through this. I was never bored. So I think this is getting 4 stars all around for all of these categories here: content, writing style, readability, plot development, and characters. And you know what? I'm even gonna give it, I think, a 5 for characters potentially. Oh my god, these goddamn stars. Because like I said, I'm a real big Blackwell fan. I really enjoyed the OCD rep from the main character in this. I related to that quite a lot. Of course, we're talking about like magical beings here, right? Supernatural things that aren't real, but I do like a little more semblance of like reality and being like, what's the point of that even existing in this universe, you know, kind of a thing. So there were just some little things like that. I just don't necessarily think it's a 5 star. The more I'm talking about this, because when I'm really thinking about this, I'm thinking of, okay, what was the last like fantasy romance that I really, really enjoyed that I gave a 5 stars? And that was Serpent and Wings of Night. To be honest, this is on par with that for me. It truly is. So I'm pretty stingy with my 5 stars. So I don't know that I can give this a full 5 star with my whole heart, but I don't know. I think a 4.5 is actually pretty accurate because I found the readability to be all there. I loved the characters. I loved the setting. I thought the pacing was really great, like I mentioned. So, you know, I don't know. I really liked it. I did. So now we're going to get into the fun part after I just do a couple more little highlights here. So we're going to go find some art and photos now to add to this. So what I will say about this journal spread that I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and stay away from Pinterest because especially with fantasy and something like this where I want to probably find like I'll find really interesting art on Pinterest. A lot of it is AI art, especially in the fantasy genre. And even if it's not AI art, I don't want to just be stealing people's art without being able to give proper credit for it, because you know how Pinterest is, everything is just like reposted. I'm going to be using like my favorite free stock photo websites. I also use FreePic for a lot of kind of like vector images, so like kind of things that look like stickers. So I'm just going to kind of start with the overall kind of theme of this, which is very gothic. I don't necessarily want to use like Notre Dame, like cathedrals and stuff. This is perfect. Love that. Actually, in Disneyland Paris, it is called Phantom Manor and not Haunted Mansion, which is very cool. I am going through Pinterest for like inspiration. Let's go to my photos and see what I've collected so far. So I can see, oh yeah, a locket. Let's do a locket. I already am seeing something that I forgot. So we are back. I'm going to start just adding the photos first and not necessarily like elements, things that I want to kind of cut out. I know I like that one. So I'm just going from the little photo button here at the top. This one really matched it for sure. But this is an example for this one. I want to edit this picture because it's not quite as like dark, you know, and moody as I want. So I'm going to go into my photos and then go down here at the adjust and like throw probably a black and white, maybe that silver tone. I kind of like that one. And then when I go throw it in, it just like matches. So I have a lot of photos in here that I want to use. You might have to be doing some layering. Do a little freehand crop, you know, kind of like a window. And then I'm going to pull my photos over here to the side so that I can start grabbing things in a kind of a different way that I'll show you. Like this one, I just want this part of it. I don't want the whole picture. I got so caught up in all of these fun pictures that I forgot to actually find a quote. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I want to pull up Goodreads again here in the split screen. And then if you go down to where the reviews are, if you go all the way down on Goodreads, you can find the quotes. I should really mark up my own quotes when I read Kindle books. I just don't. I don't know why I don't do that. A lot of the quotes, I will say, like, they're kind of cheesy, right? Like, they're the typical, like, you know, 500-year-old supernatural man, you know, I'll love you until my soul withers away to dust. I'll probably do 2 quotes, actually, because I have a little bit of a space right here. I'm going to do this one because I feel like it's quite on par for, like, the vibes of the books. A house of devils is no place for an angel like you. Love that. Not gonna lie. But I did kind of have a problem with the way that he called her angel in this because, I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but it's kind of like when, like, if your boyfriend used the same pet name on you that he used on someone else. Not a huge fan of that. In a different life, in a fair one, I would have kept you until my eternal soul withered away to dust. Very melodramatic. That's kind of the point of Gothic romantasy literature, to be honest. Let's be real about that. It's kind of the point. I have one other little thing I want to do because I'm sick in the head. I'm sick. I'm sick. I love it. So I think that's gonna be it. I think we got everything. I am happy with the photos I was able to find from the free stock photos, not having to, you know, not using Pinterest for your own use in your own home. If no one sees it, you know, you're not harming anyone. But for my purposes, for my videos going forward, I just wanted to do my best to do that. So I'll give you guys a little closer look. But this is the spread for Phantasma. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this iPad book journaling video, and I will catch you in the next one.